Today we're going to take a look at the Peterson light kit for trailers under 80 inches wide. This is going to have a 20-foot wiring harness and it's going to work for the driver and passenger side of our trailer. Now, this is going to be a quick and easy kit to get your trailer up to code. If you want to have it be DOT compliant, you'll need to have your 2 trailer marker lights and also our 2 side marker lights. We'll also have our 20 feet of cable or our 20 feet of wire and a license plate bracket, as well as some hardware to get everything installed. Again, we'll have our 2 trailer lights that are going to go on the rear. There's going to be our large lens and reflector there, as well as the light itself, and then 2 side reflectors. And on the driver's side, there's going to be a clear lens at the bottom that's going to help to illuminate our license plate, since our license plate is going to be mounted on the driver's side. And we'll have our bracket that's going to be mounted right behind that, and then we can mount our license plate just below it and have that light illuminate our license plate. So you can see on the back of our light we'll have the 2 posts to mount up. On the back of our side marker light there's just 1 post and 1 wire that we'll have to connect. So we'll have 6 nuts, locking nuts that come with our kit to mount that up. My light will stay there. There we go. We'll have 6 of these nuts, 1 for each of those posts to get everything connected as it should be. We'll also have 2 quick-splice connections for connecting into our 2 side marker lights, and then some small clips that's going to help keep our wiring up and out of the way. You just slide the wire in on one side or slide it in the other way, and then you would slide the smaller end or the larger end onto a flat part of your trailer. So this works really well on trailers where you have slats that you can run that onto. And again, we're going to have our 4-pole wiring, so we'll have our 4-pole connector at the one end to hook into our vehicle. We'll have our ground post, which will be the white wire, and then we'll have our running light circuit, which is going to go to the brown wire. Now that we have 2 of these wires, 1 for either side, that's for the running lights, and you'll need a running light connection for both sides. Then we'll have our yellow, which is going to be for the driver's side turn and tail light, and the green wire, which is going to be for the passenger side turn and tail light. We'll have our bare ends, white for ground, so you'll need to grab a ring terminal to get this connected to, and either use an existing grounding point or a self-tapping screw to ground that into a metal or chassis ground on your trailer. And then we'll have our 2 ends for either side, the brown and yellow for our driver's side and the green and brown for our passenger side. I'll just show you real quickly how to wire that up and what our light will look like whenever it's lit. The back will have some small connectors there. You're just going to push the wire in to the appropriate slot. So the brown, it's actually labeled, it says tail in parentheses brown. It's going to go into these 2 connections here. So you're just going to push your wire in. It's a good idea to twist the end of that wire to make it a little bit more resilient. You're just going to push that end in. And it's going to grab and hold on to that wire so you don't have to worry about it coming out. If you do need to take it out, or if you switch the wires around, there's a smaller hole at the back there. It's kind of hard to see. The smaller hole just beneath it, if you push something in on the end there, that will actually release the wire back out. I ended up using a zip tie or a cable tie to remove that. Just whittled it down a little bit. You can use pen, whatever you got really, but as soon as you push that, it'll let the wire come back out. The other wire I put in there, since this is our driver's side, it's going to be our yellow, so that's going to give us our stop and turn signals. And then we can use the posts to act as the ground for the light. So I'll connect my ground to the light on that post back there. Turn on our power. You can see our light's going to come on. So this is going to be our running light signal, and then when our turn signal's on, as you can see, that light is going to get brighter to indicate that we're turning. Go ahead and flip the lights out in the studio here so you can get a better idea of how bright that's going to be. Our light also comes through on the side. And we'll also have our light at the bottom, as you can see there. It's going to be the same thing for our passenger side, just without that bottom lens for the license plate. And then for the trailer lights, or the clearance lights, it's going to be similar. So again, to remove the wires from the back, I'm just going to push in on that little spot, and it'll let me release those wires. So it's a really easy connection there. You don't have to worry about any butt connectors for the tail lights. For our other connection here, we will have to wire in our running light circuit. And then again, we'll just use the post as our ground. So that's going to be your running lights, or your clearance marker lights. Turn the lights out again in the studio so you can get an idea of how bright that's going to be. Again, it's going to make sure that we're DOT compliant for all states. So, just giving you an idea of how bright everything's going to be and what it's going to look like whenever you have it all wired up and installed. As far as the dimensions for this, we are going to have our tail lights are going to be 4 3/4 of an inch long. That's going to that outer reflector there, and then it's going to be 4.5 inches tall and 2 13/16 of an inch deep. That's going from the back of the housing to the front of the light. Our studs coming off the back, it's going to be about 7/8 of an inch. For our clearance lights, they're going to be 2 3/4 of an inch long by 2 1/8 tall and about 1 inch deep. Flip my ruler around here so you can actually see. The distance between our posts on the back of our taillights is going to be 2 inches apart. This is going to take bulb type 1157. Our clearance lights are going to take bulb type 194, which is going to be a 12-volt bolt. You can find those bolts here at etrailer.com if you ever need to replace them. One last thing that I want to mention with these lights is that this product is made in the USA. And that's going to do it for our look at the Peterson light kit for trailers under 80 inches wide.